All right, so I'm doing a quick presentation. My assignment 3 was the element of team dynamics. So I integrated 4 different research papers, got some information off of them, created this paper here. It's got some great concepts in there for team building, team organizations, and just kind of different cohesiveness techniques and a lot of other kind of just team building exercises and concepts. Assignment number 4 I had to do was I integrated a weight training kind of implementation of what it would take for athletes who are getting ready for maxing out weightlifting. So I applied my team dynamics towards weightlifting exercise, but it also demonstrated how you'll be prepared and you'll have more success without having all like the distractions of you being nervous, unconfident, different things like that happen when you're not prepared for an actual competition or something. So that was just kind of geared towards that. Now I'm going to get into detail here on group and team dynamics, and then I'll kind of incorporate some of these aspects that I've had on my papers. So groups really quickly defined 2 or more people who interact with each other, a sense of mutual interaction. For example, a volleyball team that trains every morning. I put team in there, but it's actually just like a volleyball group of people. It's not always going to be a team because they don't have common goals. They may be all volleyball, athletes, but they're just doing training. They're not actually doing a competition or anything. So it kind of gets tricky, but groups act together in formal ways. So, just like practicing in the morning, mutual interactions and task interdependence, just like teams. Now, people with common interests but not goals, so I have a diagram here. It's got all different colors because they all like pizza, but they like their pizza with different toppings. So it's kind of, one of those type of things. Any group of people who must interact with each other to accomplish shared objectives. So now here we're going into the team aspect of it. You have certain objectives to accomplish, whether it be to score a touchdown in the 4th quarter with 2 minutes to go, just kind of situations, different situations require different goals. So the team, they know their objective, and now they got to work together to accomplish that. Evolutionary process, changes due to internal or external factors. An example, coaches deciding on who the starters are for opening day. Opening day would be for baseball. So when the team's forming and the coaches are seeing the training and who they've got, then it's their job to assign different roles for each player. 4 key characteristics: collective sense of identity, we-ness rather than I-ness. So example, coaches, when they see prima donna egos, people that think they're better than the rest of the team, it's causing more division than anything else. So teams have to adjust that so they stay cohesive. The more cohesive you are, the more success you're going to have in the team as a whole. So distinctive roles for all members, we kind of covered that. On teams, all players have a position and certain members have leadership roles. Structured modes of communication. A player may go to a position coach for anything. Let's say, the linebacker is having an issue with something in class or with the teacher, or at lunch he got in trouble. So he's going to deal with his position coach. That coach is then either going to discipline him or he's going to take it up with the head coach to see what the next type of deal is there for that. Basically, that aspect is all just chain of command. So every team develops different characteristics and qualities and traits, and they operate differently. But some of the norms, the social rules that guide members on what to do and not to do, every team has their own criteria for that. So that just defines that team and what they decide is most important for them. So team development theories, there's different theories on what a team consists of. I'm going to cover 3 different ones. So the first one, linear theory, groups develop in stages. Forming teams familiarize themselves with other team members. Storming, resistance to the leader, resistance to control by the group, and interpersonal conflict. Norming is hostility replaced by solidarity and cooperation, so bringing that team back together after some type of chaos. And performing, team members band together to reach common goals. So kind of like we talked about on that last slide, a couple slides ago. If we're in the 4th quarter, a couple minutes to go, and we need a touchdown, our team is going to come together and figure out how to do that. I used this example for the full linear theory Hell Week because during that time period, the whole team is under a lot of stress. So you kind of find out who your leaders are. You find out what personality your team is, how tough they are, how they handle different things, the heat, not getting enough water, whatever the case is. They have to figure it out. They've got to develop team leaders and kind of how to overcome when things get tough. So this is a good test for that. Here I just found a picture of all the team coming in together. This may be after a game or something, but basically everybody knows that they've accomplished whatever they were doing that day. So pretty good stuff. Cyclical theory, this is the second theory. Groups follow cyclical patterns. As groups develop, they psychologically prepare for its own breakup. So this would be kind of like for people here in the community in Downey, like DJA, it would be like recreational teams for one season. So like a lot of the youth sports, they get together for one season. The next season they have a whole different team. So for fall, winter, spring, summer, whatever group that you're dealing with, they know that the team is going to eventually break up. So the cyclical pattern covers that. Pendular perspective, shifts in personality relationships during the growth and development of groups. So until you're actually in a role or established with your actual position or whatever your coaches have asked of you, it really kind of shifts here with the pendular perspective because they haven't really defined those roles yet, or maybe with these groups they don't actually do that. They just kind of have the group, but they don't ever make it into a team. So it's kind of interesting stuff there. Roles, each team has different roles. Example, teachers, parents, health professionals, athletic trainers, corporate executives. Now this is the owner for the Patriots here, Robert Kraft, and they've had a lot of success off of him being a good owner. So I put a picture of him up there. Team development. Now, as you're developing your team, you're going to have different objectives and a process. So here it's important, as let's say you get assigned the head coach, goals, whatever that head coach, he's going to kind of develop his style for the whole team. So in this case, I just chose goals to unify the program. You're going to name your coaching staff, so you're going to pick who you want to help you carry out your team. Create your practice schedule, establish team roles, discipline, and reward systems. So let's say so-and-so was late to practice. You're going to have a particular discipline for that action because you don't want it to keep reoccurring. The culture, that's basically what this team consists of. So if everybody in this team is athletes, they're baseball players, and they're all into movies as well. So with that, maybe they can build off that and all come together for different, movie nights and stuff, so everyone can come together and create that cohesiveness. The vision is basically where you want to end up. So your goals in the beginning for unifying the program, your vision, it's all going to go hand in hand for the end result. Basically, everyone wants to, have a good program and win. So hopefully that would correlate from whatever you have chosen for the development here. Always practice good sportsmanship. So I chose this picture here because it's good to learn at an early age. You don't always win, but it's good to give it your all. And at the end of the day, you're healthy. You have your family, and everything's all good. So how I'm going to tie this kind of all in together really quick. I'm starting a football team, so I've got some concepts here and materials as well that the staff kind of created. So during our time as the coaches getting together and starting this program, we've developed our own concepts. So we have a mission statement, and this mission statement is the purpose, and it's the why. So their motto is toughness, discipline, and dependability. Now, with all these three characteristics, we're hoping that this team has the idea where we can all come together and have one unit. The values that we establish here are going to help us to reach our end goal of having a solid team that's cohesive, one heartbeat. A lot of teams out there have some guys on the team that don't buy in completely. They don't have an established role, and they become the kind of, you can say, cancer to the team, where anytime they're around, they're trying to stir up things to get everyone distracted from the main goal that day. So you got to deal with that in a certain way. You got to address it. So the coaching staff will know how to handle that in the way that the team sees fit, so that everybody understands that we're not going to just mess around and have our own little thing. We're going to come together, and while we're together, we're going to be talking about our objectives and how we're going to accomplish those, whether it's at practice, going through different techniques and drills for certain play calls that we have. We got to have every position available to understand what their job is. So if everybody's doing their job, then we shouldn't have any mistakes, and we should have some success there. So hopefully that covers everything. Thank you very much, and that's it.